wrapping up the Pillar of Shame. In the darkness of Wednesday night, workers took away the statue from a leading Hong Kong university where it had stood for more than 2 decades. The 8-metre-tall statue of torn and twisted bodies is a homage to victims of the 1989 Tiananmen Square crackdown, when the Communist Party ordered the military to crush pro-democracy protests in the heart of Beijing. The topic is taboo in mainland China, and since a sweeping national security law came into effect last year, public commemoration of the massacre has all but been stamped out in Hong Kong too. Local artist Casey Wong, who went into exile in Taiwan earlier this year, condemned the removal of the Pillar of Shame and said it was important to have physical reminders of history.
We can understand why the Chinese Communist Party and their proxies in Hong Kong trying to destroy that piece of monument, because they're trying to cover their crime. They have murdered innocent people, and that pillar reminds their crime every year.
In a statement on Thursday, the University of Hong Kong's governing body said that removing the statue was in the best interests of the university. This comes as authorities crack down on political dissent in the city. On Sunday, Hong Kong held its first legislative elections under new laws which ensure that only candidates who have shown loyalty to Beijing can run. The so-called Patriots-only election saw a voter turnout of 30%, the lowest since Britain handed Hong Kong over to China in 1997. But Beijing says such elections will better serve Hong Kong's interests. Hong Kong's leader Carrie Lam met with Chinese President Xi Jinping in Beijing on Wednesday.
保障以外，习主席也提出，即使现在我们的这立法会的选举是更符合香港作为在一国两制下的香港特别行政区的实际的情况也是一个会让香港迈向更民主发展的这个方向所以这个我是完全赞同。
President Xi praised the Hong Kong government for resolutely implementing the new law.
1年来，香港由乱到治的局面不断巩固，局势不断向好发展。
Hong Kong has changed markedly since the national security law was imposed. Former lawmakers and key activists are imprisoned. Some have been prosecuted over a Tiananmen vigil last year. Samuel Chu, the founder of a Washington, D.C.-based NGO called Campaign for Hong Kong, said the statue was originally brought over in 1997 to test Hong Kong's freedoms.
So now the question has been answered. Hong Kong no longer has that freedom and autonomy, and that the Beijing government and the Hong Kong government now feels like they have removed enough of the civil society and the pro-democracy movement that they can simply try to wipe out history and people's memory.
Beijing has long stopped public commemoration of Tiananmen in the mainland, and it appears intent on doing the same in Hong Kong. The 2-ton Pillar of Shame has been packed away and moved out of sight. But for now at least, the statue and what it represents are still remembered. Damon Lin and Louise Watt for TaiwanPlus.